So I'm glad that, you're in a place where you can foster your talent and, be able to, like I said earlier, pass it on to others.
I feel really motivated now. Things are really coming along.
I have a question for Fury. Fury, have you learned anything in your relationship, or what's the biggest thing that you've learned from your relationship with Michael?
Well, certainly when I initially connected with Mike through Claudia Whitman, hey Claudia, I had no idea about his crimes. And then when I got home and looked them up, I was definitely in shock, and had that judgment cloud for a while. And then, in some ways I still do, but I suppose that, you can really have love for someone. When me and Mike say bye on the phone, sometimes we'll say L&R, love and respect. And it's genuine, like you can really have love and respect for someone who maybe did something really horrible if they've actually changed as a person. And, it's amazing. Like, I've had friends, people close to me who've like, not like the fact that I even talked to you, Mike. And that's been hard. But I also don't blame them, so
Sure.
It's like it's a complicated thing, but I guess the main answer is just that we are still able to kind of rinse it out the mud, so to speak, and move forward, even if it means, that you'll be incarcerated for the rest of your life. There's still something that's like genuine and positive and good about what we have done together, what you and Kevin and Dane and Archie and Lefty and JoJo and Frankie have all done together. Did I say Lefty?
Yeah.
Lefty too. So, we've been able to create something beautiful. And that's the lesson I've learned, is that even in like the deepest mud, you can try to scrape out something, kind of clean it up and scrape out something that looks halfway decent.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still here, still on Earth. Like, I mean, I don't know what people expect out of other people who are still here. They might have did something horrible, but they still exist. So what do you want? Do you want them to continue doing this shit that they did, or do you want them to, be a change and grow and be a different person? I mean, they're still
Spoon Jackson, who is one of our artists, and he's actually at Solano. He always says everyone has one foot in darkness and one foot in light. And I always go back to that in my head. I'm like obviously I haven't committed as like the dark things that you have committed, but it doesn't mean that I can't have extremely dark thoughts or things that can't surface in my head and be like, go away. Everyone has that. Everybody. I don't care if you're the most anointed priest.
Yeah,
everyone has
about all that stuff,
I think it's better to just acknowledge that and face that and work within it and make constructive art around it and have constructive conversations about it. And I think that can stop future Michael Tennysons, because there are other Michael Tennysons out there at that stage of your life. But then there are other Michael Tennysons who are at your current stage, which is a much higher frequency. So I tip my hat to you.
There's some of the kids out there nowadays, all these little crazy little shootings and stuff, these mass shootings. Some of the songs, Major Dorsey's got a CD right now, is Vetting. He went on vacation today. He said when he gets back, he'll get it back to me. I'm going to send it to you. So 13-song demo. 2 of them are overdriven because the hard drive crashed and I didn't get a good mix. I didn't realize it until afterwards. I had some shitty ass headphones that I was listening to it through. So, but you'll get them. And the songs on there are written about all this stuff. about the world events, some references to Ukraine, not actually by name, but just you'll recognize it. Seems like World War III. You'll recognize it when you hear that in one of them. Writing about the evening news about the shootings down in Texas, Ohio, 9 dead a couple years ago. Just things, emotions going on. It's basically just dealing with emotions in here, some of the songs. There was 4 other guys that I worked with on a couple of them I told you about, Remy Martin and a guy named Malachi Ortiz. Little kid blew his own leg off with a shotgun, little gangbanger. Pulled a 12 gauge out, sawed off and blew his damn leg off. You know, and he's struggling with drugs, music, and God. And I worked with him for a song in here. We put a song together. It's pretty killer, man. It's a little hip hop piece with some it's kind of Eminem meets Black Sabbath. It's one of them kind of things, but
Okay.
you'll see. It's kind of a
That sounds a little bit interesting. While we're here, this might be totally off course, but you have like a racy past, right? I don't know where I got this from. When I say racy, I mean like
yeah.
racist.
Oh, is that what you mean? You talking about that?
What is it? I don't know.
No, go ahead. I laughed a little bit.
You have like some past racial bigotry. You
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, growing up in Kenosha where they shot that little brother 2 years ago, the police pulled him out and shot him. I grew up about 3 blocks from there.
Okay, so yeah, real quick because we gotta leave soon, but I think it would be a wasted opportunity if we didn't like
Let's
talk
go.
about it a little bit because I think it's important that me and you are able to have this conversation right now.
Yeah.
So how were you able to undo or unlearn the bigotry?
It was just life experiences. It really is exposure. When I was a kid, we grew up on Kenosha. It was just me and my mom. I was a funny looking little freckle faced, 4-eyed, little redheaded, little little white dude down there, you know. And it was a black and Puerto Rican neighborhood pretty much that we lived in. They used to pick on me all the time, and I used to, you fucking, you call them all kinds of shit, back and forth, N-wording each other. They were N-wording me, and I was a little honky, and running home and stuff. And then my mom's boyfriend says, "Get your ass back out there." Came with a bloody nose. He said, "You better get your ass out there. You better whip his ass. Or I'm gonna beat your ass." He says. And I went back out there. A kid named Kenny. There was Kenny and Larry Famous. We used to play basketball together. One day he hit me in the face with an elbow, and I called him the N-word, and he clocked me behind my ear. That's the first time I got knocked out. I was in 3rd grade. Yeah, it still hurts where he hit me. It was one of them things. I grew up like that. And then I told you when I got in the Marine Corps, I mean, I just didn't know any different. That's the way it was. And then when I got in the Marine Corps, I come out of a bar one night and I told a serious story, I think it was you I told. I was going out the back with this one hooker girl, and next thing I know, lights went out. I wake up, man. I'm reaching behind the same ear again. There's a bunch of blood back there. I'm seeing this big old bald-headed black dude up there beating the snot out of these two, It was this chick and her pimp, He's hollering at him, saying, "Yeah, bitch." He says, "You put your hand on the Marine again, I'll kill both of you." He's using the N-word, kicking him and kicking the dude down the hall. And she's like, "Man, you're going to kill him, man. So I'll kill both of you. All you ever put your hands on a Marine again." He chased him off, and then I'm like in a daze still, I still had stars. The dude clocked me with a whiskey bottle. And he reaches down, he's like, "I'm Gunnery Sergeant Thomas, man. You okay, Marine?" He says, "You just got here, didn't you?" And he kind of laughed. I says, "Yeah." I says, "It's a hell of a, yeah, anyway." He's like, he took me back to his apartment, him and his wife cleaned me up, washed my clothes, give me a meal, let me sleep over that night. The next morning, he drove me back to base. A couple months later, I was out there they had disco back. Disco was big out there in Southern California in the late 70s. You know what time it was, So I was out there in the club again one night, and I met this chick out there. she's a sister. She come up, man, you're a cute little dude, man. Where you from? We start talking, and I ended up dating her for a few months, and I dug the shit out of her, man. It was a little sweetheart. And things just started to change. In 41 years up in prison, I've dealt with so many people in here, mixed races, music and stuff. That's when you hear this new demo, you're going to be tripped out because you're going to hear stuff you never heard from. I told you about it, talked all kinds of stuff. Now you get to hear a little bit of something. I learned a few notes that I didn't have last time, but I'm just being a smart aleck. But the thing is I had a lot of influences from the past. I've just grown up in here. I've met a lot of people, and as I meet more people, have more experiences, my perceptions change.
I think only real cure is exposure, if that makes any sense. Like, if you're never around other people and you're in like an echo chamber, then that's just what you're gonna believe. I had a roommate that was neo-Nazi. Yeah, like 6 freaking swastikas on her. And she ain't fool with black people, she ain't fool with, and I ain't fool with her. So that was okay. But I wasn't like in my feelings about it. I've been in prison for a long time. I've met plenty of people. Like, nothing shocks me, nothing makes me mad, whatever. We were able to exist. We respected each other. Like, it wasn't, but one thing we used to do is we used to watch Jeopardy all the time, every night. That was both of our, like, one of our favorite shows. So that was what we had in common, is Jeopardy. So we would sit down and watch it. And I'm talking about every night I spanked this girl ass in Jeopardy, every single night. Like, I don't know if she was just, because she's smart or intelligent. I don't know if she just couldn't get the Jeopardy thing down. I don't know. But I watched like every day. I would just be beating her. What is hyperbolic hypertension? What is sometimes? I'm just, every day I just see her just, I don't know, like her viewpoint just started changing over Jeopardy. Like, it was like she was just, I don't know. She was just probably very impressed or whatever. But like I said, we always coexist in the room. So the Jeopardy thing just kind of brought us a little bit closer. And I mean, she's none of that now. You know what I mean? Like, she's not into any of that. She's not like a bigot, because she was exposed and she met other black people. And when we finally got to the point where we could actually talk about it, she had told me that she never saw a black person until she was 13 years old. And by that time, she already had learned this behavior from, her family and people that she was around and stuff. And the first time she ever seen a black person, she had to go to a placement. And when she got there, they tried to put her in a room with this black girl. And she called her mom, like, they're trying to put me in with whatever. Her mom called up there snapping out. And they was like, oh, well, she just gonna be in the room with her. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to do. They like, and I said, well, what happened after that? She was like, yo, I learned about Jodeci and I learned about such and such. Like, and she just came out like, kind of like with a different experience. But then she never seen black people again. So it was like, oh yeah, I lived with that one black cool girl, but based off of all this things that I've been told and stuff, maybe that was a one-off. So she easily just fell back into it. She was impressionable. She was a teenager. And, just from being exposed to, many, many different people now, she's a beautiful person. She's nothing like that now. So I think that that's really the most organic, genuine way to, address bigotry. It's just exposure.
One of my songs that I just got done writing, one of the biggest things in here, one of the recurring theme in here is looking into the eyes of our neighbor and realizing they're just pretty much just like us. Our neighbors are very much like you and me. We're not that different. We have so much in common, yet we spend so much time focusing on the little things that are different. We nitpick at them. It's just like so many times in our society, we destroy so much to build so little. And we got to get a shift on that and turn that back around. And it's the same with people. If we focus on the things that we have in common, we start working together, We look at our diversity as a blessing. And we really need to. You know that, Fury knows that, we know that in our movement, our group, everything that we're fighting for right now as we speak. This inclusiveness, we need to come together as a society. We desperately need to. We're heading headlong into our own demise. And it's a damn shame because it doesn't have to be that way.
I agree.
And the blessing that we've had sitting back in these penitentiaries all these years, I've had 35 years to sit back and meditate, to look at the free world, to watch the real world, to watch the world in here, and to see the connection between the two. The only thing separating us from out there is a wall. Because people in here are the same as people out there in the streets. We've made mistakes. We're not bad people. We're not good people or bad people. We are, depending on our actions, that kind of defines us. And those are all things that can be changed at any given moment by a simple choice.
Well, it's been beautiful powwowing with you gentlemen. I'm glad that you like V. It was, I don't know what 87, 88 is going to entail.
It's going to be some scary shit.
Yeah, I don't know either, but
yeah, that's gonna be some scary shit for sure. But it's been a pleasure powwowing with you guys, and having some uncomfortable but very comfortable and progressive conversations.
Let's have more.
Whoever don't like the conversations, you just want to still be a part of the problem. We're trying to move forward.
Amen.
So that's what we're doing. So I stand on that.
I do too. We can't change it until we acknowledge it.
Absolutely.
mhm.